Hey, Tuesday at 2 here at Circle B Diecast in Concord, North Carolina. So glad you've joined us as we talk racing for sure. Let's see. We got Victor, John, Thomas, and Robert checking in. Robert checking in from Atlanta, hot Atlanta. So everything is good. Yeah, really well here. So we hope that everything is good in your world as we continue on here through the 2023 season. And so, Victor, please. Victor, Victor, stop. Put your hands off the screen. What are your predictions for the 2024 NASCAR schedule coming in August? Victor, I don't know where I'm eating supper tonight. I don't know. Son, stop. All right. We just, my gosh. Right out of the box, too. I hadn't even figured out what we're doing in Nashville next week, let alone 2024, and when we will see the schedule. Anyhow, man, sorry, I just got off the reservation. Victor, you sent me, you sent me a. I know, man. I'll tell you what. Well, I know you got to get that limo charged up for all those big times when you're VIP. I get it, but man, the rest of us folks are just trying to live day to day here, you know. So it's all good. It's all good. Good times, that's for sure. Yep, yes indeed. So. Fun times. So glad you joined us here. What y'all think of Sonoma? And if you have a question about racing, send it in here. I don't mean jumping all over Victor. I don't want you to scare you off with questions, but the 2024 schedule and when it comes out, I'm not ready for that one yet. But if you want to talk a little racing, let's talk a little racing. That's it. So okay, good deal. Now, Andrew, there you go. Andrew, we'll get to that here in 1 second. First off, Sonoma, Martin Truex Jr., really good stuff, that's for sure. And man, that car was fast. That car was really fast. So great stuff out there with Martin Truex Jr. Are we doing the diecast? Do we have the Race Week diecast? We have that. Do we have Almirola around or not? Nothing yet. Okay, that might be. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned to your diecast newsletter and email from Circle B Diecast. All right, Andrew, sorry. This was not asked last week. Did you get to speak to Corey LaJoie after Gateway at all? No, I have not gotten to speak with Corey, but I did see some interviews and I saw a lot of quotes. And the boy was bummed out, and I can understand that. I think we all love Corey LaJoie, and we all wanted to, look, we've had so many times Corey's been here signing diecasts. He's one of our guys. We talk about our guys here at Circle B Diecast. And you get an opportunity to drive a Hendrick Chevrolet, and you jump in, and it did not go as they had hoped. They started off with a meh qualifying run, and they never really could get that car rolling along the way. And so I think Corey put as good an angle or spin on everything as he could, but this thing was, it's a whole lot different. It's a whole lot different if Corey LaJoie comes out of there with a top 10 or top 15 finish than what they had. And I think that's the frustration with it. And so now going forward on that, Andrew, do I think that this hinders his? No, I think Corey is doing a really good job in that 7 car. I don't know necessarily that missed opportunity, and I'm using missed with quotes here. I don't know what I don't know how bad, if it infects at all, because what he's doing with that 7 car is really good. He's making a lot of progress, and we got Atlanta coming up in a couple of weeks. He about won that race, so we'll see what happens with it. But I appreciate the call or the question there, Andrew, on that. And no, I haven't talked to him, but I've read a lot and I've seen a lot of interviews with Corey, and I think he's doing all right. But I think he's disappointed, and I would be too. You get an opportunity like that, and as much as I don't think. I think he's creating a pretty good body of work to make a case for a ride in one of those teams. Boy, I'll tell you what, a top 10, top 15 finish would have helped that a little bit. I don't know if it hurts him what happened out there. So there you go. Okay, let's go. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Um, okay, Thomas, I don't know. What my number one selling diecast will be in 2023, Chase Elliott's car. I mean, I don't. That's a tough call. We first off, we're in June, so we don't know what's going to be offered in the second half of the year, and so I don't know. I mean, and I love the end of the year when we get the list from Lionel, which Chase Elliott car sold first, and which Chase Elliott car sold second, and which Chase Elliott car was third, and which retro Dale Earnhardt Jr. car was fourth, and which Chase Elliott car was fifth. I get that. And well, wait a minute. We had a classic Dale Earnhardt number 3 released recently, so maybe that's in the mix as well. It's it just is the diecast cars are fascinating, and obviously love the diecast business and everything. But a guess as to what car is going to be number one, I don't even know where I'd begin with that. Just don't know. I just don't know. So it's cool. I mean, and I appreciate everyone buying diecast, obviously, but it's just one of those things. We'll have to see what happens as far as that goes. Victor's excited about SRX next month. So am I, Victor. It's going to be good. Matthew's glad Carson Macedo was better from Knoxville. Yeah, Matthew, they're coming your way. They're coming up to Beaver Dam up in Wisconsin, and boy, a bad crash. Bad crash for Carson Macedo, World of Outlaw sprint car driver. We have some sprint car diecast. You can just log it in there, sprint car diecast, and find it. But yeah, Carson Macedo, the good news is nasty crash, a fire involved in it, and spent a little time in the hospital, but walked out of the hospital early the next morning, and that was good. So fun stuff for sure. And Victor wants to know, are you excited about Pennsylvania Speedweeks coming up? Yes, I was planning on coming up there, but some things have shifted around, so I'm not going to be able to make it. So, Victor, I'm going to leave it in your hands. You wheel that limo, you wheel that limousine, and you have VIP treatment right into the fabulous Lincoln Speedway and Big Diamond and all the tracks up there, and drink your champagne and eat your caviar and grab a racetrack hot dog with your caviar too. So, but yeah, Pennsylvania Speedweeks. I love my sprint car racing. And just really fun stuff. We're in a busy part of the season with the Sprint Car World. Ohio Sprint Car Week, Ohio Speed Week is going on. Pennsylvania Speed Week's coming up. World of Outlaws are racing, and so really good. Great stuff for sure, and just stuff like that. You know what? I don't collect NHRA diecast, and Thomas, that's something I would love to do. Here's my deal, and I've shared this, but it's been a little while. I guess the racing's not of interest this week, so we're talking a lot of diecast, and that's cool as far as that goes. My diecast collection is cars that I've been involved with. I've got I did Kenny Wallace's Square D collection. I've got that all in place. Got everything that I did with Kenny Wallace, and I'm slowly but surely working through my Ricky Rudd Texaco Haviland collection. So I'm working through that as well. I would love, because the NHRA diecast we have, and you can get your NHRA diecast at Circle B Diecast, is spectacular, and I love NHRA, man. I'll tell you what, Thomas, I woke up Sunday morning, I was Saturday afternoon, I went up to Hickory Motor Speedway, and watched some late model stock racing, and I'm like, man, if I get a good night's sleep, do I go up to Bristol tomorrow? Up to the Bristol Dragway, the Thunder Valley. Opted to stay home, but I love it, and it's like everything else. I would, man, I'll tell you what, Thomas, send me $1 million, Thomas, send me $1 million, because if I had $1 million, I'd be collecting every kind of diecast known to mankind. I mean, it's just that balancing act that we all deal with and we all live with, and it is good stuff. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. All right, Robert, I love this one. I thought the Stewart House cars would have more front, at least Logano represented Ford well. Ford is on a mission, and it's going to be a while. And when I say a while, not I mean, we're not talking years. My understanding on this, Robert, and I think I shared a little bit last week, there was a test at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's called a wheel force test, and it's just one of the manufacturer's tests that happens, that Kevin Harvick did for the Ford camp, and they think they found something. And where the details on this are, Crew Call is the show I do on MRN with crew chiefs, and we had Brian Wilson, Harrison Burton's crew chief, on a week or two ago. And Brian said they stumbled onto something, That's a bad word. They didn't stumble onto anything. They found something at that wheel force test. And at Charlotte Motor Speedway was the first time they'd been able to implement it on all the cars. And it looked really, really good at Charlotte. Ryan Blaney picked up the win. A lot of Fords up front. Come back to Gateway, and it was better. There was good stuff. But I think it's something. It's like you get a little snippet of technology, and how does it apply to Charlotte, and how does it apply to Gateway, and then how does it apply to a road course? You don't know. So I thought the Stewart-Haas racing cars would be a little bit better, Robert. I'm with you. I thought the Stewart-Haas cars would be a little bit better. Logano represented Ford well, but bless his heart, Michael McDowell, he's running a Ford. And, you have Penske, you have Stewart-Haas, you have RFK, and then you have little old Front Row Motorsports. And Michael McDowell was wheeling and dealing that Ford. He was rolling that Ford. So, I think they're working on it. And but let's just think about this when we talk about manufacturers, Robert. A year ago at Sonoma, the number one finishing Toyota was Kurt Busch, who finished 18th. In other words, every Toyota last year was 18th or worse. We had one stretch in the beginning of that race where there was 5 Toyotas in the top 6. And Martin Truex Jr. was the dominant car. What's interesting about it, getting back to your point about the Ford, I think Martin Truex Jr. was the dominant car, and I'm not sure if McDowell wasn't the second best car. So I think Ford's onto something. It's just a matter of getting your ducks in a row and hoping the other manufacturers don't get onto something too that makes them a little bit quicker. So yeah, it is awesome. It really, truly is. Zach chimes in and said, Jack chimes in and says, that Bandolero finish last night was incredible. What he's talking about is the summer shootout. And the summer shootout is at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We run 8 weeks, 2 Mondays, and the Tuesdays from tonight is the first Tuesday through August 1st. And we had a Bandolero finish last night. This girl, Allison Johnson, went to the top side with about 3 or 4 laps to go, and they ran side by side, which I don't know, in Charlotte Motor Speedway on that little quarter-mile track, I don't know that I've ever seen someone hang like she did. And she came off turn number 4, and she gassed it up to the finish line, and by .003, she won the race on the outside. It was a really good race, Zach. It was fun to call. I loved it. NASCAR Roots on Twitter has the playback of it if you want to see the final minute of the race. And but really, really good stuff. And summer shootout, as Victor has pointed out, is happening. Yes, it is. And so round number 2 is tonight. If you're in the Charlotte area, we'd love to have you come out and join us. If not, it is on Flow Racing, and we've got the school bus slobberknocker tonight. Yeah, we've got 6 principals from local high schools that are going to race each other in school buses tonight. Yeah, this is not going to be good. This is not going to end well. And what happens is the stands get filled up with all the students from those schools, and they get screaming and hollering, and oh my gosh, the principals get out, next thing you know, they're fighting amongst themselves, and the students are taking shots at each one. No, I'm digressing a little bit, but it is fun. It really, really true, good stuff, and goes from there. Andrew, another good question here. Do you think teams like Spire benefit from Legacy Motor Cup slipping over to Toyota next year? I hope that helps the trickle-down resources from Chevy. I don't think it can hurt. So the story is Legacy Motor Club, which is Eric Jones and Noah Gregson, is going Toyota next year, and they'll become the 3rd Toyota in line. You got Joe Gibbs Racing, you got 2311 in there. And I think when you look at it from this perspective, if you're in the Chevy camp, okay, are you ever going to dislodge Hendrick Motorsports and Richard Childress Racing from the top of the pecking order? Unless there is a major current shift in the Chevrolet camp, I cannot see that. Now you throw Spire or you throw Trackhouse in there and their performance. And so I think when you look at it, and let's not forget about JTG Doherty Racing. My gosh, Stenhouse, he's up front all the time. So when you look at this from a legacy thing, you're like, okay, wait a minute, where are we at here in the pecking order? This way, we at least can get to the podium of the pecking order of the Toyota camp. So I think it'll be good for Spire. And then what happens, Andrew, is we're done, or good for Legacy Motor Club. Then does Spire get a little bit more? We'll see. I hope that's the case. It's always the challenge when you have the three manufacturers, and that's why there's so much talk, and it's kind of quieted down a little bit. But there was talk a couple of years ago about a fourth manufacturer coming into the sport. And I know when you think about teams like Spire or Front Row or JTG, those teams that are not going to be, face it, let's look at it. Joe Gibbs Racing is going to be Team 1 in Toyota. Okay? Ford, now Ford's been interesting. You've had Team Penske, Stewart Haas Racing, and RFK, and I'm not sure right now if RFK might not be outperforming everyone else. Blaney got that win for Team Penske, but RFK, and remember, Front Row is an alliance team with RFK, and they're performing well. So it's like it's tough to get those out of the way. And when you look at Chevy, Rick Hendrick and Richard Childress, you're not going to dislodge them from the top of the feeding chain. So I think when you're a team like Legacy, you're like, I think we can do better over here. So you get in this line. And so you're a team like Spire, and it's like, oh, good, Legacy moved up. Maybe we can move up. So I think that's the hope. Stay tuned. We'll see if that happens. But I think that's fair. I think and I think that's a great question, Andrew. I really do. I like that. And, I just think that it's cool. It really, truly is. So fun stuff, that's for sure. And fun chatting here. Really is. Fun chatting with you all. I know I lit up Victor a little bit when he was talking about the 2024 schedule. I got to sit down and figure out what I'm doing for lunch and dinner tonight before I worry about the 2024 schedule. But love chatting and love, Andrew. I really like questions we get when we can talk about 2023 on-track NASCAR racing. Man, I love that because I kind of live in the here and now. I love when we talk a little sprint cars, a little Bandolero racing. But just kind of really enjoy that. That's for sure. Did we have that diecast? Do you want to show that diecast or not? Or do we? We had some Akinori Ogata diecast. We didn't bring it in because here's what happened. Okay, I'm going to tell you what happened. This is your warning. Okay, we have Akinori Ogata. He comes over here and signs diecast all the time. Okay, and so we had him in yesterday, and he's signing a bunch of diecast. We put it on the website. We stroll in here this morning, and it's gone. Now, I don't mean gone like someone lifted it out of the warehouse. I mean, sold out, gone. So we were going to show it off, and then we decided not to show it off because why show it off when we can't do it? But the warning is when you see something you want from Circle B Diecast, jump all over it because I didn't see Akinori Ogata's diecast selling out. And it's gone. It's a sellout. It's a sellout. And it's officially a sellout because Victor just said it on the chat room. It's officially a sellout. So the bottom line of it is that we occasionally get this diecast in. And if you see something you want, get it ordered. Pre-orders, we understand that. Pre-orders, we got to get them so they get past the DNP list where they can get produced. So you got to order that, and you're not charged for it on your debit or credit card until it ships. But the other stuff, if you see something, a one-off thing, an autograph thing, get on it. Man, I tell you what, we'd hate to have you lose out on diecast. If you're an Akinori Ogata fan and you're like, oh, well, I'll wait till the 1st of July and get that Moon Eyes car, well, you ain't going to get it. You ain't going to get it. It's gone. That autographed car is out the door. Akinori, by the way, raced on Saturday night at Hickory in the late model stock, and he's running in the summer shootout as well. So I've got to see Akinori Ogata race twice, and we'll get to see him here tonight as well after I figure out what I'm doing for dinner. So there you have it. There is a picture of the car right now, though. You can see it, and man, it's good. And Akinori signed it there in the paint pen. Oh, look at that, baby. Look at that. See what it could have, should have. So when you see something from Circle B Diecast, make sure you grab it. And with that, I'm going to grab a gear and get on out of here. So we really do appreciate everyone jumping in and joining us here on our Circle B Diecast chat. Great time, always talking, and really, really fun. So we do appreciate it. Thanks for the questions here, and love the conversation. And we will catch up with you next week. An off weekend for NASCAR. An off weekend. Woo! Man, I'll tell you what. There is a whole bunch of crew members at beaches or mountains or in the Caribbean. They're all over the place. They're scattering all over the place. You could go right now to one of the top flight NASCAR shops. You could stand in the corner with a shotgun and blast it down through there and not risk hitting anybody. I mean, it's crazy, and it's well earned because when the Cup Series goes back to Nashville, it is 20 straight races to Phoenix and the championship run. So there you have it. We appreciate you joining us. Thanks. And remember, all your diecast needs, www.circlebdiecast.com.